Commander Vexistar stared at the blue planet on his screen. His forearms crossed over his chest as he watched the world spin slowly. For 250 years, this planet had been quiet. Too quiet. Still nothing? He asked his communication officer. Nothing, sir. No radio signals, no digital broadcasts, no light patterns. The planet is completely silent. Vextar's 3 eyes blinked in sequence. He had been watching Earth longer than most beings in the galaxy had been alive. First, there had been noise. Lots of noise. Radio waves, television signals, primitive digital communications. The humans had been chatty creatures, always talking, to each other across their small world. Then, in 2087, everything stopped. Maybe they killed themselves, said Lieutenant Caxel from his station. Many young species do that. They get too much technology too fast. Or maybe they just gave up technology, suggested Dr. Nixara. The peaceful vegan scientist had joined their ship 3 months ago. She believed all species deserved a chance. Some civilizations choose simple lives. Vextar made a growling sound. His people, the Andromedians, were warriors. They understood only strength and weakness. A planet that went silent was a weak planet. A dead planet. Run the scan again, he ordered. The ship's sensors swept across Earth's surface. They found cities, but the cities were dark. They found roads, but no vehicles moved on them. They found what looked like farms, but the readings were strange. Everything seemed too clean, too perfect. Sir, the sensor operator called out, I'm getting some odd readings. What kind of odd? The planet's electromagnetic field is different. It's like there's some kind of barrier around it, but our sensors can't find the source. Dr. Nixara moved closer to look at the data. This is very unusual. The barrier seems natural, but it's too perfect to be natural. Vextar dismissed her concern with a wave of his hand. Ancient defense system, probably. Dead civilizations leave behind many mysteries. Across the galaxy, the Galactic Council was meeting. Representatives from hundreds of worlds sat in the Great Chamber on Station Nexus. Today, they were discussing Earth again. Ambassador Telvac stood at the center podium. His tall, thin Centaurian body swayed as he spoke. Fellow council members, we have watched the human world for 2.5 centuries. Our conclusion remains the same. The species is extinct. Murmurs filled the chamber. Some voices agreed, others argued. The planet shows no signs of intelligent life, Telvac continued. No communications, no space travel, no industrial activity. Whatever happened to the humans, they are gone. A large, bear-like alien stood up. This was Senator Gorth of the Ursian Republic. Maybe humans are hiding. My people were once hunters. We know prey hides when predators are near. Telvac's head tentacles wiggled with amusement. Hiding for 250 years? From the entire galaxy? Impossible. Even if they could hide, why would they? Fear, said Dr. Nixara's voice through the communication system. She was still on Vexistar's ship but could speak to the council remotely. When humans first heard our radio signals, maybe they got scared. Maybe they decided to hide until they felt safe. Fear makes creatures do stupid things, agreed Senator Gorth. But most of the council disagreed. Representative Zektor of the Silicon Collective spoke next. His metallic voice rang through the chamber. We have offered peaceful contact many times. We have sent simple mathematical signals. We have broadcast messages of friendship. Nothing. The humans are gone. Telvac nodded. Which brings us to today's vote. The Kethron Empire has requested permission to colonize the human world. Earth has rich resources, good climate, perfect for Kethron expansion. The mention of the Kethron Empire made the chamber quiet. Everyone knew about the Kethron. They were not cruel, but they were not gentle either. They took what they needed, and didn't ask permission. Ambassador Velkan of the Kethron stood up. He was smaller than most Kethron, but his voice was strong. My people need new worlds. Our population grows every year. Earth is empty. We will use it well. But what if humans are still alive? Asked Dr. Nixara. What if they're just hiding? Velkan's red eyes glowed brighter. Then they should have answered our calls. Silence means agreement or death. Either way, we will take the world. More arguments followed. Some species supported the Kethran. Earth was valuable, and empty worlds should be used. Other species worried about making mistakes. What if humans were alive but just scared? Telvok raised his long arms for quiet. We will vote tomorrow, but first let me show you our final scan results. The chamber's main screen lit up. Earth appeared, beautiful and blue. The scan data showed empty cities, silent lands, and no signs of advanced civilization. 250 years of watching, Telvok said. 250 years of trying to make contact. The conclusion is clear. Humanity is gone. Back on his ship, Commander Vextar received the Council's transmission. He watched the debate with interest. Tomorrow, the Council would vote. If they said yes, the Kethran would begin colonizing Earth within a year. Sir, his communication officer called out, I'm picking up something strange. What now? It's very faint, but there seems to be some kind of organized pattern in Earth's electromagnetic field. It's not natural. Vextar looked at the data. The pattern was so subtle that their sensors had almost missed it. It looked random, but there was something about it that seemed planned. Could be solar interference, he said finally. Or leftover technology from the dead civilization. Dr. Nixara wasn't convinced. Commander, what if we're wrong? What if humans are still there, but they're so advanced we can't detect them? Ridiculous. No species can hide from our sensors. But what if they can? The question hung in the air, like a challenge. Vexitar stared at Earth on his screen. The planet looked peaceful, quiet, empty. But something deep in his warrior's instincts whispered that things were not what they seemed. Meanwhile, in the council chamber, the debate continued. Species after species spoke about Earth's fate. Some wanted to protect it, others wanted to use it. None of them suspected the truth. Earth wasn't empty. Earth wasn't dead. Earth was watching, listening, and learning. For 250 years, humanity had been the galaxy's greatest student. They had studied every alien species, learned every language, and understood every weakness. Tomorrow, the Galactic Council would vote on Earth's future. They thought they were deciding the fate of an empty world. They were wrong. They were about to make the biggest mistake in galactic history. But Earth knew about the vote. Earth knew about the Kethran ships already moving toward human space. Earth knew everything. And soon, Earth would speak. Deep below the surface of Earth, in a place that couldn't be found on any map, Director Kim Woo-jin sat in a chair that floated 3 feet above the ground. Around him, hundreds of screens showed every corner of the galaxy. He could see alien ships, alien cities, and alien faces. None of them could see him. Director, called Dr. Park Soo-min from across the room. The Galactic Council just finished their debate. They're voting tomorrow. Kim Woo-jin nodded slowly. He was a tall man with gray hair and calm eyes. For 30 years, he had watched the galaxy watch Earth. Today might be the day everything changed. What are the numbers? He asked. 67% support giving Earth to the Kethran. 28% want to wait longer. 5% want to try contact one more time. Kim Woo-jin touched a button on his floating chair. The room around him changed. The walls became transparent, showing the real Earth outside. Green forests covered the land. Clean rivers flowed between hills. Cities existed, but they were hidden in folded space where alien eyes could not see them. Dr. Park Soo-min walked over. To him. She was younger than the director, with short black hair and quick movements. In her hands, she carried a tablet showing alien faces. I've been studying their behavior for 15 years, she said. The Kethran are not evil, but they are not kind either. If they come to Earth, they will change everything. They will cut down forests to build their cities. They will take our resources. And if we reveal ourselves, Kim Woo-jin asked, that changes everything too, but in a different way. Across the room, Colonel Lee Hyun-woo stood before a wall of military displays. His uniform was clean and simple, but the technology around him was anything but simple. ships that could travel between dimensions, weapons that could stop time, shields that could hide entire planets. "Director," Colonel Lee called out, "our defense systems are ready. We have 3,000 ships positioned around the solar system. The aliens can't see them, but they're there." Kim Woo-jin smiled. "How long did it take us to build those ships, Colonel?" 200 years, sir. Since we first heard alien radio signals, it had been humanity's greatest decision. In 2087, when Earth first detected alien communications, the world's leaders had made a choice. Instead of answering immediately, they would listen first. They would learn. They would prepare. Dr. Choi Yoon-ji entered the room carrying a small device that glowed with blue light. She was the head of Earth's Advanced Technology Division. The device in her hands could do things that most alien species would call magic. "Director, the quantum fold generators are working perfectly," she reported. "We can hide entire continents if needed, or we can reveal them all at once. And our manufacturing facilities? All operating in alternate dimensions. We're producing more resources than the rest of the galaxy combined, but none of it appears on any sensors." Kim Woo-jin stood up from his floating chair and walked to the center of the room. Around him, his team represented humanity's greatest achievement. Not weapons or ships or cities, but knowledge. For 250 years, humans had studied 847 different alien species. They knew how each species thought, what they feared, what they wanted. "Sumin," he said to Dr. Park, "tell me about the Kethran." Dr. Park touched her tablet, and a hologram appeared in the air. It showed a red-skinned alien with bright eyes and sharp teeth. "The Kethran are expansion-focused," she began. "They need new worlds because their population grows fast, but they're not conquerors in the traditional sense. They prefer to take empty worlds or buy worlds from other species. They follow galactic law. Their weakness? They hate surprises. Kethran, society is built on planning and prediction. When something unexpected happens, they become confused and defensive." Kim Woo-jin nodded. He walked to another display showing the peaceful Centaurians. "And Telvak?" "Ambassador Telvak is a scientist first, politician second. He believes in evidence and logic. If we show him proof that humans are alive and advanced, he will support us. But the proof must be overwhelming. Commander Vextar." Dr. Park's expression became more serious. "Vextar is a warrior. He respects strength, but only strength he can understand. Our advanced technology might frighten him instead of impressing him." Colonel Lee stepped forward. "Director, if I may, suggest something." "Speak freely, Colonel. We have another option. Instead of revealing everything at once, we could reveal ourselves gradually. Show them we exist, but not show them how advanced we are." Dr. Choi shook her head. "That's more dangerous. If they think we're weak, some species might try to conquer us immediately. If they think we're strong, they'll be more careful." The room fell quiet as everyone considered the options. After 250 years of preparation, humanity faced its greatest choice. Kim Woo-jin walked to a window that looked out over the hidden city below. Millions of humans lived and worked there, but the city existed in folded space. To alien sensors, this location was empty forest. "Show me the latest intelligence reports," he said. Dr. Park touched her tablet again. New images appeared in the air. "The Kethran have 17 ships positioned at the edge of our solar system," she reported. "They're waiting for the Council's permission to begin colonization. Commander Velkan is leading them personally." "Military assessment, Colonel?" Colonel Lee studied the data. "Their ships are powerful but predictable. Our technology is at least 300 years ahead of theirs. We could disable their entire fleet without harming a single Kethran. But that would reveal our capabilities," Dr. Choi pointed out. "Exactly," Kim Woo-jin said. "Which brings us back to our fundamental question. Do we stay hidden forever, or do we reveal ourselves now?" He touched a control panel, and the room's main screen showed Earth as the aliens saw it. Empty cities. Silent forests. No signs of life. For 250 years, we've been the galaxy's greatest secret, he continued. We've learned their languages, studied their cultures, understood their technologies. We know more about them than they know about themselves. Dr. Park stood up. Director, I've run psychological profiles on every major alien leader. If we reveal ourselves correctly, we can reshape the entire galactic political structure. Instead of being the newcomers asking for acceptance, we can be the mediators solving problems that have existed for centuries. Explain. The galaxy has dozens of ongoing conflicts, resource disputes, territorial arguments, trade disagreements. Most of these conflicts exist because the species don't understand each other. We understand all of them. We could help them solve problems they've been fighting about for hundreds of years. Colonel Lee frowned. That's assuming they want our help. What if they see us as a threat instead? Then we show them we're not, Dr. Choi said simply. We have technology that could conquer the galaxy, but we use it to help instead. Kim Woo-jin returned to his floating chair. Around him, the screen showed alien ships, alien worlds, and alien faces. Tomorrow they would vote on Earth's future. They thought they were deciding the fate of an empty world. They were wrong. Begin. Preparations for first contact, Kim Woo-jin said quietly. The room became electric with activity. Dr. Park began preparing psychological profiles for immediate distribution. Colonel Lee started positioning defense fleets for maximum impact with minimum threat. Dr. Choi activated systems that had been waiting centuries to be used. Earth was about to speak to the galaxy. And when it did, nothing would ever be the same again. But first they had to decide exactly what to say. The emergency session began at sunrise. In the great chamber beneath Earth's surface, representatives from every nation gathered around a circular table that floated above the ground. The table was made of light, and it showed real-time images from across the galaxy. President Yoon Tai-ho stood at the center. He was an older man with kind eyes and a voice that could fill any room. For the past week, he had listened to arguments from every side. Now, he had to help humanity make its greatest decision. Friends, he began, today we decide our future. The Galactic Council votes in 6 hours. If they say yes, Catherine ships will enter our solar system tomorrow. Around the table, faces showed worry, excitement, and fear. These people represented 8 billion humans who had lived in secret for 2.5 centuries. Whatever they decided would change everything. General Nam Ki-young was the first to speak. He was a strong man with scars on his hands from years of military service. His uniform was simple, but everyone knew he commanded the most advanced military force in the galaxy. We should reveal ourselves through strength, he said firmly. Show them our ships, show them our weapons. Make them understand that Earth is not helpless. That could start a war, argued Dr. Seo Jae-hyuk from across the table. He was younger than the general, with calm movements and careful words. As Earth's chief diplomat, he had spent years planning for this moment. Better a war we can win than slavery we cannot escape, General Nam replied. President Yoon held up his hand for quiet. General Nam, explain your plan. General Nam touched the table, and it showed images of Earth's hidden fleet. Thousands of ships waited in folded space around the solar system. Each ship was more advanced than anything the aliens had ever seen. We decloak our entire fleet at once, the general explained. We surround the Kethran ships. We show them that attacking Earth would be suicide. Then we negotiate from a position of strength. Murmurs filled the chamber. Some voices agreed, others worried. Dr. Lim Sang-wook stood up slowly. He was the oldest person in the room, with white hair and gentle eyes. He had been alive when humanity first decided to hide from the galaxy. I disagree with both of you, he said quietly. We should continue hiding. We have lived in peace for 250 years. Why throw that away now? Because the Kethran are coming whether we like it or not, said Engineer Han Bora. She was young, with quick movements and bright eyes. Her job was designing the technology that would reveal Earth to the galaxy. Let them come, Dr. Lim replied. We can hide our cities deeper. We can move our people to other dimensions. They will never find us. But they will destroy our planet's surface, Han Bo-Ra argued. They will cut down forests. They will pollute oceans. Even if we survive, Earth as we know it will be gone. President Yoon walked around the floating table. On its surface, he could see images from across the galaxy. Alien ships moving toward Earth, council members preparing to vote, Kethran colonists getting ready to leave their homeworld. Dr. Seo, he said, tell us about your plan. Dr. Seo Jae-hyuk stood up and touched the table. New images appeared, showing alien faces and diplomatic documents. We reveal ourselves carefully, he began. We send a message to the Galactic Council. We introduce ourselves as peaceful neighbors. We offer to share some of our knowledge in exchange for recognition and protection. What kind of knowledge? Asked General Nam. Solutions to problems they've been fighting about for centuries. The Centaurians and vegans have been arguing about trade routes for 50 years. We know how to solve that. The Silicon Collective needs new energy sources. We can help them. The Ursian Republic wants to explore distant galaxies. We have the technology. Dr. Lim shook his head. And what happens when they realize how advanced we are? They will either worship us or fear us. Neither is good. Fear might keep them away, suggested General Nam. Fear creates enemies. Dr. Seo replied. Respect creates allies. The debate continued for hours. 3 clear groups emerged, each with their own vision of humanity's future. The isolationists, led by Dr. Lim, wanted to stay hidden forever. We have everything we need, Dr. Lim argued. Our technology lets us live in folded space. We can explore other dimensions. We don't need the galaxy. The interventionists, led by General Nam, wanted to reveal themselves through military strength. Show weakness and they will attack, the general insisted. Show strength and they will respect us. The diplomats, led by Dr. Seo, wanted peaceful contact with careful revelation of capabilities. We can be the galaxy's teachers, Dr. Seo explained. We can help them solve problems and grow together. As the debate raged, Engineer Han Bo-Ra received an urgent message on her tablet. Her face went pale as she read it. President Yoon, she called out. We have a problem. The chamber fell silent. Han Bo-Ra touched the table, and new images appeared. They showed space around Earth's solar system. Kethran's scout ships have entered the outer solar system, she reported. 3 ships moving toward Jupiter. They're not waiting for the council vote. General Nam stood up quickly. They're testing our defenses, seeing if we really are dead. Or they're just impatient, Dr. Seo suggested. Commander Velkan might be acting without council approval. President Yoon studied the images. The 3 Kethran ships were small but well-armed. They moved slowly, scanning everything they passed. How long before they reach Earth, he asked. At their current speed, 18 hours, Han Bo-Ra replied. And the council vote? 6 hours. The math was simple and terrifying. Even if the council voted no, Kethran ships would still be in Earth's solar system. And if they discovered humanity's hidden cities and fleets, the secret would be out anyway. Dr. Lim sat down heavily. The choice has been made for us. We cannot hide anymore. General Nam's eyes gleamed. Then we show them our strength. 3 scout ships against 3,000 human ships. The odds are clear. Wait, Dr. Seo said urgently. If we destroy those ships, we declare war on the Kethran Empire. That's not revelation, that's suicide. President Yoon walked to the center of the chamber. Around him, humanity's leaders watched and waited. Outside, 8 billion people lived their quiet lives, unaware that everything was about to change. We need a middle path, he said finally. Something between hiding and fighting. Engineer Han Bo-Ra touched her tablet. I might have an idea. New images appeared on the table. They showed a single human ship, sleek and beautiful but not threatening. We reveal ourselves to the scout ships first, Han Bo-Ra explained. 1 ship decloaks near them. We make peaceful contact. We give them proof that humans are alive and advanced, but we don't show them our full strength. That's still dangerous, Dr. Lim warned. Everything is dangerous now, General Nam replied. But this plan has the best chance of success. Dr. Seo nodded slowly. We can control the first contact. Choose what they see and what they don't see. President Yoon looked around the chamber. On every face he saw the same expression. Fear mixed with hope. Worry mixed with excitement. All in favor of controlled revelation? Hands rose around the table. Not everyone agreed, but enough did. Motion carried. President Yoon announced, "We make first contact with the Kethron scouts. Engineer Han, prepare your ship. Dr. Seo, prepare your message. General Nam, position our fleets but keep them hidden." As the meeting ended, people began moving with purpose. Some were excited, others were terrified. All of them knew they were about to make history. Outside the chamber, in the hidden cities of Earth, life continued as normal. Children played in parks that existed in folded space. Adults worked in factories that built wonders no alien had ever imagined. None of them knew that in a few hours, humanity would speak to the galaxy for the first time in 250 years. The age of silence was ending. The age of revelation was about to begin. Captain Oh Min Seok sat in the command chair of the ship Unity. Around him, his crew prepared for the most important mission in human history. Outside the view screen, empty space stretched in all directions. But appearances could be deceiving. His ship existed in folded space, invisible to all sensors. "Captain," called Lieutenant Kim Da-eun from the communications station, "the Kethron scouts are 2 hours away from Jupiter." "And the Galactic Council?" "Still voting. It's very close." Captain O touched a button on his chair. "Dr. Seo, are you ready?" Dr. Seo Jae-hyuk's voice came through the ship's speakers from Earth's command center. "Ready, Captain. The message has been prepared in 847 different languages. We'll broadcast it to every ship, station, and planet in the galaxy simultaneously." "Simultaneously?" Lieutenant Kim asked. "How is that possible?" "Quantum communication arrays," Captain O explained. "We've been building them for 200 years. Every major alien facility has been secretly equipped with our receivers." The bridge fell quiet as everyone understood what that meant. For centuries, humanity had been placing invisible communication devices throughout the galaxy. They could talk to anyone, anywhere, at any time. In the Galactic Council chamber, the voting continued. Ambassador Telvac watched the numbers change on his display. The decision was close. Closer than he had expected. 51% in favor of colonization, he announced. 49% opposed. The chamber buzzed with nervous energy. This was not the overwhelming support the Kethron had hoped for. Ambassador Velkin stood up, his red eyes glowing with frustration. "The numbers are clear. We have majority support." "Barely," pointed out Senator Gorth of the Urshans. "Many of us still have doubts." Dr. Nixara's voice came through the communication system from Commander Vextar's ship. "I request one final scan of Earth before we vote." "We have scanned Earth hundreds of times," Telvac replied. "Then one more scan won't hurt." On his ship, Commander Vextar ordered the most detailed scan his sensors could perform. The results appeared on his screen immediately. Empty cities, silent forests, no electromagnetic activity, no heat signatures, no signs of life. But something bothered him. A warrior's instinct that whispered of hidden dangers. "Sir," his sensor officer called out, "there's something strange about the electromagnetic readings again." "Still seeing those patterns?" "Yes, sir. They're very faint, but they're definitely artificial. It's like someone is using the planet's natural electromagnetic field to hide something." Vextar stared at the data. For 250 years, those patterns had been there, always subtle, always just beyond understanding. "Could primitive humans have created this?" he asked. "No, sir. This technology is far beyond anything humans ever demonstrated." A cold feeling crept up Vextar's spine. What if they had been wrong? What if Earth wasn't empty? In the council chamber, Telvac called for the final vote. "All those in favor of granting colonization rights to the Kethron Empire?" Lights began appearing across the chamber as representatives cast their votes. Green lights for yes, red lights for no. The counting began. At that exact moment, every communication device in the galaxy activated at once. The effect was immediate and impossible to ignore. Screens that had been showing voting results suddenly displayed a human face. Communication systems that had been carrying normal traffic were overtaken by a single, clear voice. Emergency broadcasts interrupted entertainment programs across 1,000 worlds. Dr. C.O.J. Hugh appeared on every screen in the galaxy. He sat in a simple chair with Earth visible behind him through a window. His appearance was calm and non-threatening, but his presence was overwhelming. "Greetings, neighbors of the galaxy," he began. His voice was clear and kind, but it carried the weight of 8 billion souls behind it. "We are humanity of Earth. We have been listening. We have been learning. We have been preparing." In the council chamber, chaos erupted. Representatives jumped from their seats. Security systems activated but found nothing to fight. The transmission was everywhere and nowhere, coming from technology they didn't understand. "We seek peaceful coexistence with all species," Dr. Seo continued. "But we will defend our world and our people. We have watched your civilizations for 250 years. We have learned your languages, studied your cultures, and come to respect your achievements." Commander Vextar grabbed his communication officer. "Where is this signal coming from?" I don't know, sir. It's not coming from any single source. It's coming from everywhere at once." "That's impossible." "Now we believe it is time to introduce ourselves properly," Dr. Seo said. "Let us talk." The transmission ended as suddenly as it had begun. For a moment, the galaxy was silent. Then the real chaos started. On his ship near Jupiter, Captain O Min Seok received the signal he had been waiting for. "Begin decloak sequence," he ordered. The Unity began to appear in normal space, first as a shimmer, then as a shadow, finally as a solid ship that gleamed in Jupiter's light. It was beautiful and elegant, clearly advanced but not threatening. The 3 Kethran scout ships detected it immediately. Alarms sounded on their bridges as sensors registered a vessel that hadn't been there moments before. "Unknown ship," came a transmission from the lead Kethran vessel. "Identify yourself." Captain O smiled. This was the moment humanity had practiced for centuries. "This is Captain O Min Seok of the Earthship Unity. Welcome to our solar system." The silence that followed lasted exactly 17 seconds. Captain O had counted. "Earthship?" the Kethran commander finally replied. "But Earth is uninhabited. As you can see, reports of our absence have been greatly exaggerated. More ships began appearing around Jupiter. Not thousands. Captain O was careful not to be threatening. Just 12 ships, arranged in a welcoming formation around the Kethran scouts. Each human ship was a work of art. Smooth lines, perfect construction, technology that seemed to bend the laws of physics. They were clearly more advanced than anything the Kethran had ever seen, but their positioning was peaceful. "How many of you are there?" the Kethran commander asked. "Enough," Captain O replied diplomatically. Meanwhile, throughout the galaxy, alien civilizations tried to understand what had just happened. The transmission had reached every corner of known space instantly. It had bypassed every security system, every encryption, every defense. On Station Nexus, Ambassador Telvac stood frozen at his podium. The voting had stopped. The chamber was in chaos. Representatives shouted questions and demands, but no one had answers. "Order!" Telvac called out. "Order in the chamber!" Slowly, the noise died down. Every alien in the room stared at the screen where the human face had appeared. "Did that really just happen?" asked Senator Gorth. "The transmission reached every world in the galaxy simultaneously," reported the station's communication officer. "That should be impossible with current technology." Ambassador Velkin's red eyes had grown very bright. "If humans can communicate across the galaxy instantly, what else can they do?" It was a question that would haunt alien leaders for years to come. Near Jupiter, the confrontation continued. The Kethran scouts found themselves surrounded by ships they couldn't understand, facing beings they had thought were extinct. "We mean no harm," Captain O transmitted. "We simply wish to protect our home." "Your home?" the Kethran commander replied. "The Council has granted us colonization rights. The Council cannot give away what it does not own. Earth belongs to humanity. It always has." Ambassador Bei Yejin materialized on the main screen of the lead Kethron ship. She was a middle-aged woman with gentle eyes and a diplomat's smile. "Commander," she said, "I am Ambassador Bei of Earth's Diplomatic Corps. We would be honored to meet with your leaders and discuss our mutual future." The Kethron commander looked around his bridge. His crew stared back with confusion and fear. They had come to claim an empty world. Instead, they had found a civilization that could appear from nowhere and talk to the entire galaxy at once. I need to contact my superiors," he said finally. "Of course," Ambassador Bei replied. "We understand this is unexpected. Take all the time you need. We have waited 250 years. We can wait a little longer." But across the galaxy, the age of waiting was over. Humanity had spoken. Now the real conversation could begin. 5 years had passed since humanity spoke to the galaxy. Counselor Ryu Seung-min walked through the halls of the new Galactic Council Station, built in Earth's orbit, where everyone could see the blue planet below. The old station on Nexus still existed, but this was where the real decisions were made now. "Counselor Ryu," called Ambassador Telvak as he approached with his long, flowing steps. The Centaurian had aged in the past 5 years, but his eyes were brighter than ever. "The Vegan-Centaurian trade dispute has been resolved." Ryu smiled. "Dr. Shin's mediation worked?" "Perfectly. 50 years of argument ended in 3 days of conversation. Your people truly understand us better than we understand ourselves." That was the truth that had changed everything. Humanity didn't just join the Galactic Council, they fixed it. After 250 years of watching and learning, humans knew exactly what every species needed, wanted, and feared. Dr. Shin Hai-wan had been the key to this success. As head of the Interspecies Understanding Institute, she had teams of human psychologists working with every major alien civilization. Problems that had seemed impossible suddenly became simple when the right mediator asked the right questions. "The Urzians and Silicon Collective are next," Telvak continued. "They've been fighting over mining rights in the Kepler system for 30 years. Dr. Shin will handle it," Ryu assured him. "She's already identified the real problem. It's not about mining rights, it's about respect. The Ursians feel the Silicon Collective doesn't value biological life. The Collective feels the Urzians don't understand the needs of artificial beings." Telvak's head tentacles wiggled with amazement. How did she discover this so quickly? "We've been studying both species for centuries. We know that Urzians need to feel honored for their wisdom. We know that the Collective needs recognition of their consciousness. Give them both what they need, and the mining dispute solves itself." It was the human way. Instead of forcing solutions, they found the emotional and psychological roots of problems. Instead of taking sides, they helped everyone understand each other. Fleet Admiral Park Chan-woo stood on the bridge of the Earth defense ship Harmony. Through his view screen, he could see ships from dozens of alien species flying together in formation. A year ago, this would have been impossible. Today, it was routine. "Admiral," called his communications officer. "We have a request from the Kethron 7th Fleet. They're asking for escort through the Delian Nebula." Admiral Park nodded. "Grant the request. Assign the peace and understanding to guide them through." The irony wasn't lost on him. The Kethron Empire, which had once tried to colonize Earth, now asked humans for protection. Not because humanity had conquered them, but because human ships were the safest escort in the galaxy. Human technology had advanced far beyond what anyone expected. Ships that could exist in multiple dimensions at once. Weapons that could disable enemies without harming them. Shields that protected entire star systems. But humanity used this power to help, not to control. "Sir," his officer continued, "the Andromedan 4th Battle Group is requesting permission to visit Earth. For what purpose?" "Cultural exchange. Commander Vextar wants to study human military philosophy." Admiral Park smiled. Vextar had been one of the most suspicious aliens when humanity first revealed itself. Now he was one of their strongest supporters. Permission granted. Assign them guest quarters on Luna base. On Luna, Professor Kim Da-yoon stood before a classroom filled with alien students. Representatives from 43 different species sat in specially designed chairs, all learning together. "Today we study the Krellian Wars," she announced. "Can anyone tell me why these wars lasted for 300 years? A young Centaurian raised one of his long arms. "Because the Krellians and Viridians could never agree on peace terms?" "Close," Professor Kim replied. "But think deeper. What was the real reason?" A Silicon Collective student spoke up, its metallic voice ringing through the classroom. Neither species understood what the other truly wanted. They negotiated for territory when they should have negotiated for honor. "Exactly," Professor Kim smiled. "The Krellians needed to feel they had won something meaningful. The Viridians needed to feel their sacrifices were respected. If mediators had understood this psychology, the wars could have ended in months instead of centuries." An Ursian student growled thoughtfully. "But how do you learn to understand other species so well?" "Practice," Professor Kim answered. "Patience, and most importantly, listening more than you speak. Humans spent 250 years listening to the galaxy before we said a single word." Back on Earth, Ambassador Young Kyung-soo met with delegates from 12 different species in the Treaty Hall. Today's discussion was about the new Galactic Constitution, a document that would govern how species interacted for generations to come. "The human proposal is interesting," said Representative Zektor of the Silicon Collective. "But can it really work?" Ambassador Jung touched a control pad, and a holographic display showed the proposed treaty structure. "The observed consent protocol is simple. No species may contact or colonize another without first demonstrating they understand the target civilization completely." "But that could take decades," protested Ambassador Velkin of the Kethran. "Better decades of study than centuries of war," Jung replied calmly. "How many conflicts have started because one species misunderstood another's intentions?" Senator Gorth of the Ursians nodded slowly. "The human approach prevented mistakes. If we had studied Earth properly, we would have known you were there. And if you had known we were there, we could have been trading partners instead of potential enemies," Jung agreed. The discussion continued for hours, but the outcome was never in doubt. The human proposal made too much sense to reject. Species would be required to study their neighbors before making contact. Conflicts would be mediated by trained psychologists. Resources would be shared based on need and capability, not just military strength. Dr. Choi Yoonji stood in her laboratory, surrounded by alien scientists from across the galaxy. Together, they worked on projects that would have been impossible for any single species. "The dimensional fold generator is working perfectly," reported Dr. Vic Zara, a vegan physicist. "We can now store entire cities in pocket dimensions." "And the quantum communication network?" Dr. Choi asked. "Online across 47 star systems," answered engineer Klexton of the Silicon Collective. "Instantaneous communication anywhere in the galaxy." Dr. Choi smiled. This was what humanity had dreamed of when they first decided to reveal themselves. Not conquest or control, but cooperation. By sharing their advanced technology selectively, humans had sparked a new age of discovery. "What's our next project?" asked Dr. Morthuk, an Andromedan weapons specialist who now designed peaceful tools instead of military hardware. "Intergalactic exploration," Dr. Choi announced. "Humanity has always wondered what lies beyond our galaxy. Now we have the technology to find out." The lab buzzed with excitement. Alien scientists who had once fought each other now worked together toward humanity's greatest dream. In his office overlooking the hidden city below, Director Kim Woo-jin reviewed reports from across the galaxy. Trade disputes resolved through psychology, ancient enemies becoming allies, technologies shared for the benefit of all. 5 years ago, he had made the hardest decision in human history. Today, he knew it had been the right choice. Dr. Park Soo-min entered his office carrying a tablet full of new data. "Director, I have the latest psychological profiles from the Outer Rim species." "Any problems?" "None. In fact, several species have requested human mediators for internal disputes. The Kethran want help resolving family clan arguments. The Vegans, Need assistance with philosophical disagreements? Kim Woo-jin laughed. We've become the galaxy's therapists, better than being its conquerors, Dr. Park replied. Outside his window, Kim Woo-jin could see human children playing in parks that existed in normal space now. The age of hiding was over. Earth's cities were visible to anyone who cared to look. But instead of invaders, the planet received visitors, students, and friends. Sumin, he said quietly, do you think we made the right choice? Dr. Park looked out at the peaceful scene below. Alien tourists walked alongside human families. Former enemies shared meals in outdoor cafes. Children from a dozen different species played together in parks designed for multiple forms of life. 5 years ago, the galaxy was full of conflicts waiting to happen, she said. Today, those conflicts are being solved before they start. Species that never talk to each other are now building joint colonies. Former enemies are sharing technology. She turned to face the director. Yes, we made the right choice. We didn't just join the galaxy. We helped it grow up. Kim Woo-jin nodded, satisfied. Humanity had waited 250 years to speak. When they finally did, they had chosen their words wisely. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what humanity had hoped for.